It looks like I'm doing two videos today because there was just another giant piece of breaking news that downright sucks, which is, it seems as if Blizzard has decided to ruin the next Tony Hawk game. What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, and today we're talking about Vicarious Visions. Now, anybody who's played a bunch of video games last year, and of course if you were subscribed to this channel, you know that I absolutely loved the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake. This was a crazy freaking redo of the original games that was not only bigger and prettier, but it fundamentally changed the speed of the game itself. It made it, in my opinion, even better than the originals that were so legendary in the first place. Well, that is because it was made by Vicarious Visions. This studio is incredibly top-notch. In fact, just a couple years ago, they're the people that are responsible for the Crash Insane trilogy. It's pretty much undeniable that they are an extremely good studio that understands that there is a very special, delicate nature to a proper remake. And now it looks like they're just completely screwed over because they just got merged into Blizzard, and they're now only going to be allowed to make Blizzard games. Let's read the news itself. Real quickly, before we go into this, a lot of y'all have been asking me about these rumors of some sort of development troubles with Resident Evil 4. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. We're going to do a big video about this tomorrow, but today we're looking at this. It's just come out. Vicarious Visions is merged into Blizzard. The publisher told GamesIndustry.biz that effective today, it's merging Vicarious Visions into Blizzard. Going forward, the Vicarious Visions team of 200 people is moving into Blizzard's, and now they're fully dedicated to existing Blizzard games and initiatives, which means that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remake Studio will no longer be creating games as the lead developer. Now, let's just break this down real quick. This is a very specific statement. They are basically saying that no longer are they going to get a chance to make stuff as fun and fast and crazy as Tony Hawk or as freaking Crash Bandicoot or even their own IP. Instead, they're probably going to be making a bunch of freaking spin-offs for Blizzard. Probably a freaking Overwatch cell phone game or maybe some sort of just add-on content for Diablo. And the reason I'm disappointed about this is because, honestly, Vicarious Visions was extremely talented. They were so freaking good at understanding that sometimes in order to make something good, you need to change it. Their projects are just so bright and flashy and fun, but I also feel like despite the fact that they are just remakes, they felt different. A few years ago, I got in this mood where I decided to watch a bunch of deep dive interviews with game developers, and one of them happened to be Vicarious Visions, and they kind of talked about the science of making a game properly sped up and kind of the difficulties of making a good game from scratch. And the fact that these people are now just going to be freaking crappy random employees for freaking Blizzard is definitely a disappointment. But I want to read the rest of this article here. After collaborating with Vicarious Visions for some time and developing a great relationship, Blizzard realized that this was an opportunity to provide long-term support. They declined to specify what team the teams are working on. So this is actually what annoys me. I'm trying to keep my calm. I hate that they are looking at this as a reward. Look at this. After collaborating with them, we decided to change the relationship and provide long-term support. This basically means that now, instead of having all the power and creativity that they had originally, they're just going to be a tiny little pawn on the chessboard of existing IPs that are now owned. The studios, the freaking creatives that are now part of the giant Blizzard Hydra. Now look at this. As part of the move, Vicarious Visions studio head Jen O'Neill has been promoted to Blizzard Executive Vice President of Development, where she joins the company's leadership team. O'Neill is being replaced by Vicarious Visions studio role Simon Edberger, or Ebergerber, oh god, I slaughter all these names, who previously served as Chief Operating Officers. Vicarious Visions was acquired by Activision in 2005 and has worked for many of the different studios' projects like Guitar Hero, Spider-Man, Tony Hawk, Crash Bandicoot, Destiny, Skylanders, and Call of Duty. This is bad news. After a lot of us played Tony Hawk, the main thing I saw a lot of people talking about is, what if we got more of this magic? The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, this remake was fundamentally so freaking fun because it took the original ideas of Tony Hawk, but just made them better. It was the maps we already knew, but now faster. It was the graphics we loved, but now better. It was the frame rate, but better. It was the online, but better. It was every part of it. And I dropped my skateboard. But here's the thing. Everybody kind of assumed that next up would be more Tony Hawk, a collection of 3 and 4, or maybe Tony Hawk's Underground. Like, the fact that now we realize that we're not getting any more Tony Hawk, at least not from the people who truly care about Tony Hawk, this to me is truly heartbreaking, but I think it's probably a sign of things to come. This was purely just luck, but I'm actually wearing my BlizzCon protest shirt. This is what they were giving out at BlizzCon a couple years ago, and yeah. I'm still excited for what's coming next. I'm still very hopeful of what this team is going to do, but if your boss puts you on a crappy project, that's what you got to do. You got to work the crappy project. I guess we'll see what this turns into very, very soon, but what do you think? Are you at all disappointed, or are you hopeful that this could still turn out well? Please tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already, but do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. We are going to be talking very in-depth about the Resident Evil 4 remake rumors tomorrow, so if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. It's going to be fun, it's going to be juicy, and hopefully it's going to be very eye-opening. I hit the microphone. Man, I'm very clumsy today. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.